story from Green Bay. Green Bay police are still investigating today after reported threats referencing a possible school shooting at two Green Bay high schools.
Officials say there's no ongoing threat to the schools at this time, but authorities did add more police to both schools as a precaution today. Emily Byer joining us live in Green Bay with the very latest details on this. Emily.
Yeah, Bill and Cami, Green Bay police have identified 3 people of interest in this case. We now know that they are all Green Bay area school district students under 18 years old. In the middle of the night, Green Bay police say they were made aware of a possible threat of a school shooting at Green Bay West High School and East High School. We don't know the specifics of the alleged threat, but we know it was made in general towards the schools. This tip came from a student who heard something and reported it to a parent. Green Bay police and school staff both praising that student for reporting this. Working with Green Bay area public school officials, authorities determined the threat was not credible. Police talking with us just moments ago, sharing the importance of having that conversation with your children about the potentially severe consequences of making threats.
I hope that parents take this as an opportunity to speak to their kids, that even joking around, something as simple as, goofing around about it or talking about this school shooter, every time we get something that is a potential or, kids talking about it or goofing around about it, we look into that. And the consequences can be devastating academically and criminally.
And right now, because the people of interest are all minors and the investigation is ongoing, there is little officials can release on possible criminal charges. But according to state law, in some cases, they could face a felony charge or even jail time. Reporting live in Green Bay, Emily Byer, Action 2 News.